couldn't even believe what I was seeing last night. I had to go double check with another source because I thought I was being had. And that momentum in Florida also led to another historic congressional flip, that of Florida's 13th congressional district. And the Republican, now Congresswoman-elect Anna Paulina Luna, joins us on the phone. Anna, Congresswoman-elect. Yes. Welcome to the program. We're very glad to have you. Congratulations on your huge victory.
Thank you. And more importantly, I just want to say thank you to you personally, because as I was getting really shadow banned by all of media in the area, you were really one of the few that had me on. So you had our backs, and I appreciate that.
Well, I'm glad that you stuck your neck out there to run, and it paid off, because now people in your district are going to have legitimate, good representation. Talk to us a little bit about this, because you are now officially in the history books as part of this major red wave in Florida. And that's exactly where it was in Florida. And, really, it kind of is the playbook model for the nation. Tell me a little bit about, what that looks like, going forward, and what Republicans can take away from how you and everyone else handled, a big tent Republican Party and all of these common concerns, because you guys did something so different than everybody else.
I'll start by saying this. My race was, I think, for the most part, no one anticipated that we would be taking in the amount of incoming fire that we were taking from the Democrat super PAC that really was started against me. So I was actually outspent $12 million to 1. And on Friday before the election, Barack Obama dropped a robocall against me. So we had some serious funding coming into the seat. And what I realized early on, and what I think you're seeing a lot of these campaigns in Florida do, is we really hit the grassroots hard. So by the time we were done, we had knocked over 50,000 doors. That wasn't paid knockers. That was me with my team out there 6 hours a day, in the morning and the evening, knocking. And we made 89,000 phone calls. And so really what you saw is I was able to talk directly to voters when they were running attack ads against me on abortion, saying that I was a pro-life extremist. And then we had actually people that were just attacking me, saying that I wouldn't, give veteran services, even though I am a veteran. We were able to directly engage with the voters and say, hey, no, that's not our platform. This is what we want to do for the community. We want to focus on American energy independence and fix the diesel crisis. And so we were able to cut through the noise. But it was definitely a heavy lift. And I'm just glad that we did it, because as you're seeing now across the country, I think that stories like mine, hopefully what I learned, I'll be able to help other incoming class and freshman candidates this next cycle to help secure their wins for the conservative movement.
We're talking with Anna Paulina Luna, who is the Congresswoman-elect now, Florida's 13th congressional district, a huge flip, historic victories last night in that state. A lot of people talking about the Hispanic vote. And now the left can't say Latinx anymore, because the Latino voters actually hate that term. Someone made the point to me, and it was actually a friend of mine whose family was from Cuba, and they were saying that, Florida voters in Florida rightfully know how to fear socialism. That is a huge part of this. Tell us a little bit about this, because there's a little bit of an insight into this that other voters in other states don't have because of that.
So we have a massive demographic of legal Cuban and Venezuelan immigrants. And as you know, those countries have both been heavily impacted by communism and socialism. And what the left will try to say to the younger generation is, oh, but it just hasn't been done correctly. Yet these people that have experienced that have their personal wealth just completely destroyed, their families a lot of times murdered by some of these regimes. They know that it doesn't work. And I think it was really telling that the Biden administration refused to allow Cubans that had general claims of political asylum, because of the fact that it's, in my opinion, that they knew that these people would go and they would educate the Hispanic demographic as to what was happening in Cuba. And so I think what you're seeing now is we do have a fight on our hands for the Hispanic voting bloc, right? We know now it's the largest voting minority in the country. It is really disgusting to see that the Democrats have really pushed the Black demographic almost out of the way. You almost never hear about BLM anymore, and they're now solely focusing on the Hispanic voting bloc, and that's because it's a power struggle. And so I hope to continue to help and work with, although she did not win, former Representative Mayra Flores, candidates like Yesli Vega. Those are powerful voices, and I think that they have a bright future in conservative activism and outreach, if people will allow them to share their platforms.
And De La Cruz and Vega Flores, which she could still come back. And I think that, for another, opportunity, those were huge wins. Talking with Anna Paulina Luna, you made a great point about the situation with the Cuban migrants who were trying to seek asylum in the United States. They were denied, but yet people coming in at the southern border in Del Rio sector, Rio Grande sector, they were all accommodated. That's I had forgotten, but that could explain quite a lot in this. This model for this playbook for the nation. I just saw this morning that it's official that there's a supermajority in the Florida state legislature. This is unbelievable. What is this? Is this the Republicanism? Is this the type of campaigning? Is this the way forward for the rest of the nation? Because we're going to have some hard conversations. Republicans are. I feel like they all need to go to Florida for classes. Do you think that the way that DeSantis and other Republicans in Florida ran their races, is that what the rest of the Republicans across the country should model theirs on?
I think so. I was on a conference call earlier with Representative Jim Jordan, and he made a telling point. He said, what happened in Florida is you saw that people were voting for freedom. They weren't voting for politicians. They weren't voting for party. They were voting for freedom. All throughout the lockdowns, you saw many Republican legislators, everyone from state level up to federal, spoke out against some of these mandates and some of these crazy lockdowns that you were seeing across the country. Many people from California and New York and Washington state moved to Florida. Parents were moving to Florida to protect what was happening with their children against CRT and the hypersexualization. And so what you're seeing now is a lot of the places around the country that were pushing the blue policies, a lot of the Republicans that were soft on that didn't win elections. I think that people are seeing through the propaganda, and I think people want real, honest elected officials. They are tired of being gaslit. They are tired of hearing one thing and then seeing another when people go up to vote. And I will say that because of the fact that I ran a grassroots campaign, and because of the fact that I told my constituents that I would be joining the House Freedom Caucus, I fully plan on not only doing that and fulfilling my promise to them, but that's exactly why I was elected by them to serve them in D.C. That is what they want, and that's what they're going to get.
It's great to see. I wish Florida was all the rest of the country last night. Anna Paulina Luna, the Congresswoman-elect in Florida's 13th congressional district, part of that historic red wave in that state. We look to see great things from you. Congratulations on your win, and keep up the fight. I know we'll talk with you again soon. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.